Hi, I'm Jerry's Doctor, and today we're going to talk about Project Discovery. Sorry for skipping the fancy intro. I'd like to get directly into this so that I can help you make the best of Project Discovery while you're at it. Now, you can see by my progress bar that I'm not doing a whole lot with this. I'm getting, a basic 10 or 12 a day, but it's been enough that I've gotten, the first 10 or 12 skins, and I've gotten myself into the hat. So, some nice swag, but not really the reason I'm doing this. Now, if you look at the light from a foreign star, this to most people is going to look like a lot of white noise. It's pretty much just static. How do you clean that up? Well, think about the light from the foreign star as a wave. Go back to your 8th grade science class. All light is a wave. All energy transmits as a wave and has a wave form. That goes for light from foreign stars. All light comes in having a unique signature. How you identify those signatures is by looking for repeating patterns in the wave form. And that'll help you to filter out all of the extra noise and identify what is actually a transit. So how I'm going to start is I'm going to filter in my zoom on this center section of this waveform I'm looking at now. So really what I'm focusing in on here is really the center 50% or 60%. And what I'm looking for is anomalies that repeat. They don't have to be identical, but they have to be significant and clearly visible. And in this one, I have just that. You can see here, there's a break in the signal here, and again here. It's a very clear, very noticeable gap in the signal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark that here and there, and then I'm going to fold it. Now at first this looks like a bunch of noise, but it's because we're not done yet. You'll notice there's a bunch of peaks here that are very similar, very close together, that almost perfectly line up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my mouse wheel here until they overlap. And what'll happen, almost like magic, is that when they do, you get a waveform starts to appear. So if I detrend, and I like to go to 1 hour or 5 hour when I'm looking at this, is that the tighter this gets, the closer it gets to being an actual wave. And there it is. That's the unique signature of this star. It appears as a very clear waveform with clear peaks and valleys, and all of these signals at a tight signal range, or may vary depending which star you're looking at various orbital periods and intervals. That signal remains basically unchanged, but it tightens up the closer you look. That's how I know I've folded this correctly. This center band, the greater 80% of this, within 2 standard deviations basically, you're looking at 80 to 95% of this signal is the light of the star itself. That's the source signal. Anything which deviates outside of this by greater than 10 to 30% is a transit. It's a planet. You can see here 1, 2. These are nearly identical in shape and length, and that very clearly tells me that I have one planet orbiting this sun twice in this interval that I'm looking at in this epoch, and that would tell me that I have one planet orbiting at a greater distance. But then I have these 4 or 5 smaller peaks, which tells me that in the same time it takes this planet to orbit twice, I have a planet which orbits the sun 5 times. I have at least 2 planets here. And if I want to get really picky, I've probably got another planet that's sitting really close to the sun and orbiting really quickly. That's, I'm saying, probably orbiting 8 or 9 times here. And that would be my 3rd planet I would identify. But this is how you cut out all the extra noise and get it being able to identify how many transits you should be marking, how many planets should you be looking for. And using this ability to fold your signal over and get a cleaner idea of what is white noise and what isn't is how you should begin by proceeding in Project Discovery. Now, this isn't one of those interceding slides that they give you that's got a really easy to identify transit and you just mark it and then bang, you're on, analysis successful. This is one of those signals where you're going to look through and you're going to pick out the ones that you think it is. This one, thankfully, is really easy to identify. Now, I've seen this is a very tight signature for this star. There are stars that have very wide signatures where it ends up looking more like, a very long series of W's, very broad and very wide with, low valleys and low peaks. It will change depending which star you're looking at. But when you're able to isolate the core signature of the star like this, the actual transits jump out at you. Now, you don't want to keep this. You don't want to confirm this as a transit because it's not. It's just you finding the overlap in the signal. So you want to discard this, and then you want to start marking your transits and folding based on those. I hope that this video has helped you and helped to elucidate getting started in Project Discovery for you. I'm going to very quickly discard this one and show you one other thing that's good for you to know. It took me a second to figure this one out for myself. Is if you mark a planet and you don't like that result, just click the X. Makes it go away. It took me far too long to discover that, even though it's very, very obvious in the GUI. But, you don't win everything. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Julius Doctor. Have a good night.